Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So, for today's movie, I will be discussing Asteroid City, directed by Wes Anderson. So, this film is not exactly as it was presented in the trailer. Let's get that out of the way right now, because the trailer it sort of presents the film as a very straightforward, three-act structure type movie. A protagonist, get stuck in the middle of nowhere, or rather, Asteroid City, after an aliens visit, and they're stuck in quarantine. However, the film is much more complicated than that. It takes a meta approach to how the story is formed and just the creative influences that go into how the story is created, if that makes any sense. And so I feel like a traditional review just wouldn't cut it in this case. It wouldn't feel right. And so, with that in mind, will take on a more abstract review to this kind of movie. I mean, let's start off with the fact that I don't think my take is very hot to begin with. In fact, it's lukewarm at best. But I will simply call it now. This film, it definitely reads as a metaphor for the COVID-19 pandemic, i.e., people are going about their lives, a big life altering event occurs, and people are forced into quarantine. And during this quarantine, people try to continue on as per usual. In the case of the story, a actress rehearses her lines with a war photographer. A teacher instructs her very inquisitive students, more specifically inquisitive about the life-altering event that has just occurred, and a group of precocious students try to play memory games to pass the time. And as time goes on, they find these activities to be unsatisfying, and so they're left to reflect about who they are, about the world, and and about how they fit into it, especially with a new life-altering event that has just blown their understanding of how things work straight out of the water. So everyone has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, in some ways larger than others. Some people, they lost in-person learning. Some people lost the opportunity to travel. And worst of all, some people lost loved ones that in some cases they couldn't even properly say goodbye to. And while the quarantine has ended and seemingly everything has gone back to normal, yet it hasn't in some ways. I mean, it's like things seem like they've gone back to normal. Baseball stadiums are packed with fans. Coffee shops are packed with people who buy overpriced coffee and chit chat. And unpaid film critics go to movies and make reviews about them that tens of people will see. And yet, what has changed is us. Simply put, they've changed, in some cases for the better, in some cases for the worse. And the most annoying part of all is we can't really seem to tell what aspects are for better and for worse. So the only, real conclusion I can come to is as simple as it is, a hard pill to swallow. Humanity will never be the same again. I will be never be the same again. You, the viewer, will never be the same again. The only piece of advice that I can glean from Asteroid City about humanity is this: take comfort in loved ones and seek out new life, or i.e., new people, and talk with them and share in your joys and your sorrow. Sorry to get off track there. I'm not much of a philosophical guy per se, but I just felt that this movie warranted the occasion. So, with that in mind, despite taking on a very meta approach that will most likely not convert any new Wes Anderson fans, heck, it may even cause him to lose a few fans. I think Asteroid City will provide viewers who are patient enough with a lot to like. So, yeah, I guess that's